Wanderluster, collector of experiences. I think I qualify. Where are we today? We are not at Coffin Pond in Sugar Hill, New Hampshire. Get lost in nature and you will find yourself. I'm a little bit lost. I'm very close to, I believe, the tallest mountain in New England, Mount Washington, 6288. And this finally a point. Hey, there's TK. Where's T-Rex? Well, we don't have a T-Rex, but we got this guy. A wolf with some flowers. And we're on a life mission here, coming up to visit one of my oldest friends and maybe take a ride up the Cog Railway to the top of Mount Washington, which I thought would be snowing this morning. Out a new door. It's a tiny bit squeaky. There's the rental. Sterling, the rover, had electrical issues. And Mount Washington is right over there. See it? No. Is it snowing here or raining here? No. Where are we? We are in a town called Twin Mountain, New Hampshire. And there are a lot more than twins. There are all kinds of mountains around here. And the garden is transitioning from autumn from summer into autumn, excuse me. And if I take a walk over here, maybe we'll see Mount Washington. I have a friend up on top of Mount Washington. We've been talking about snow first thing last couple of mornings, so let's talk about it this morning. Ryan Haas spent the night on the night shift, meteorologist, doing the observations and cleaning the instruments. He said it was blowing. We had a gust to 84 miles an hour, and this is what it looked like this morning at the end of his shift at 7 a.m. And it was gusting past 80 miles an hour. The temperature was 18 degrees, and he had a total of 0.1 inches of snow in the last 12 hours on top of Mount Washington. So no, the first inch of snow has not occurred here in northern New Hampshire yet. Oh boy, it's frustrating, isn't it? Here's some snow for you though. Mitch at Mammoth, that was yesterday. They had to clean off about a foot of snow near the base. I remember the Euro said it was supposed to be 30 inches. Well, we'll take it anyway. Usually when it's snowing in the west, especially this time of year, it's warm in the east. But we have that special Greenland block. So it is not warm here in the east. It is cold, and it's threatening to snow up there a little bit more. Let's go to the snow forecast for the NAM. And you're fired, NAM. We were kind of knowing it was a joke, right? Where 2 days ago it said 14 inches of snow for Mount Katahdin. And then yesterday it said 30 inches when I thought it was going to go down to 0. Well, last night it went down to 10 inches of snow for Mount Katahdin today with an ocean storm backing in, the old nor'easter, actually, part of it anyway. And anyhow, I still think that it's 20 inches closer to the truth, I believe. We may get an inch of snow on Mount Katahdin, where there are several webcams run by our friend, Mike McCormick, and the webcam there at Greenville showing Moosehead Lake. The foliage looks really nice there, doesn't it? We're going to talk about foliage a little bit in a little while. And there are some raindrops hitting the camera there. So I believe, and here's the camera at Millinocket Lake looking over toward Mount Katahdin, and you cannot see Katahdin because of the precipitation and cloud that is there. I say precipitation because it's raining below about 3,000 feet, but it's probably snowing at the summit of Mount Katahdin this morning. So we'll have to look when the clouds clear to see if we can see any snow up there. And it's hard to tell sometimes the difference between rime ice, that super cooled cloud touching the top of the mountain, making the rime ice like we had on top of Mount Washington. There's the cam. Well, we already saw Ryan, so we don't need to look at the cam. Mount Washington right over there. Should I cross this street? 1 mile in, Seven Dwarf Motel. I tried to stay there yesterday. I'm going across the street. Let's see if we can get a better view here. It's a busy road. It's so the Cog Railway. Cool. Can you give me a ride on that? The Cog Railway is over there, and I was thinking about taking the Cog up if it was snowing. Now I'm not sure what I'm going to do today because I'm not sure if it's going to snow up there. But that ocean storm is backing in. Here's the surface weather roundup at about 8 o'clock this morning. And you see on the left-hand side in New York and Ontario, the temperature was in the 20s this morning. That's a new cold high that's coming in. But we have a retrograding storm coming out of Nova Scotia, and it was gusting 41 miles an hour there in Greenville this morning. So there was some funneling wind. I think I trust that anemometer. And the temperature was in the 40s and 50s at lower elevations. So it's colder up in the sky. That's instability. And with the ocean storm backing in, here's the satellite imagery of that ocean storm. And it's a combination of the leftover of what was not Tropical Storm Lorenzo off South Carolina and our wave on a warm front that was our nor'easter and some remnant from Jerry, all reincarnated into a storm that is now moving toward the northwest over Nova Scotia. And the radar this morning shows some green with just some hints of blue over Maine. And that precipitation is actually moving west, but into drier air and eventually warmer air. So our window for any snowflakes accumulating here at Mount Washington is dwindling, and the same thing at Mount Katahdin. So I don't think we're getting our first inch of snow on Mount Washington. Maybe enough to leave some tracks. Track a gerbil, as Tony Petrarca used to say. Kind of fascinated with this huge billboard I'm next to. Bretton Woods, #1 in vacation rentals. www.brettonwoodsvacations.com. New sponsor for the TK Out the Door Weather and More. Yeah, I wish. And that's pretty interesting with that snow scene there with a rainbow behind it. I've seen that plenty of times. You can tell by the icicles and look on the snow on the trees there that, hey, Tim, that's fantasy world. That it can have a rainbow with melting snow. You know, I'm pretty Vermont-centric, so I haven't been here to northern New Hampshire in a while. But before I did get the place up in northern Vermont, I came to northern New Hampshire quite often. I have a lot of friends up here, and I'm going to have some reunions. I think I'm going to stick around another 48 hours. And I'll give you a little sneak peek at why I came to Mount Washington. My childhood mentor. Yes, Bob Copeland. He lives right down the road in Littleton. He's got a web camera like my web camera. We're web camera and weather brothers, and much more than that. He's an artist and a musician and an all-around great guy. And Marcia hosted me yesterday afternoon. That was so fun. And we'll talk more about that. Look at that. That truck's going to get Christmas trees. I can almost guarantee it. Christmas trees are coming to a town near you soon. There are a lot of Christmas tree farms up here. And is it going to be quiet for a moment? Should I keep walking? You know, in the backyard here, it's quiet. All right, what's the forecast, Tim? Well, here's the meteogram for Nashua, New Hampshire. I call this New England centric, and it shows sunshine for the most part today, tomorrow, today in the 50s with wind gusting past 30 miles an hour from the north. It's called cold air advection. And then you get the warm up by 60s by probably Saturday and Sunday, 65 with sunshine this weekend. And it had us in the 70s on Sunday, but overall it does look like a nice weekend after this blows through here. And then the trouble really begins next week. I think I counted 3 different low pressure centers developing very close to and coming across New England, perhaps with a chance of some snow with one of them. So should I just cut to the chase with the Euro? I want to show the surface map from this morning's WPC. I showed this 48 hours ago. The forecast for today, that green in Maine was supposed to be blue. It was supposed to be snowing. Even the Weather Prediction Center people thought so. But now they've changed it to green. And so it's they say it's only 1,004 millibar low over Nova Scotia, but I think there's an even stronger one out there to the west, to the east of that one. And then you have the high pressure system that's coming in here, 1025. Cold high is going to turn into a warm high as it gets off to our south. And all that storminess in the west ultimately is going to drive to our west for the next 4 days, and that's going to push warmer air here. But with the Greenland block, next week's going to be really interesting. So let's go to the Euro now as I walk toward a quieter spot. I think I just went down someone else's, the neighbor's driveway. Oops, sorry about that. You need a free forecast? I'm your man. Going back over behind the profile, deluxe profile here in Twin Mountain, where, guess where? Santa's reindeer are just waiting to come out from behind anytime now. All right, and there's a really fun little forest over here. Here's the Euro. Let's go to the Euro now. It's my favorite part. You know that. Day by day, play by play. Oh, wait, one thing. I'm not supposed to say when or who or exactly where, but this happened in New England yesterday. Head high, clean, perfect surf. So it is the combination of surf, ski, weather, season. Thank you for that photograph, anonymous, from a spot that I would lose my tongue if I shared. You know who you are. You know where you are. Thank you. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. All dogs go to heaven. Unconditional love. And interesting, though, that their dogs are not invited here. T-Rex is not invited here. But isn't this inviting, though? I think I'm just going to go sit down and have a chair and talk about the Euro. It's so much more quieter over here. More quiet. What's the plural of cyclone cyclogenesis. Is it cyclogeni? We have 4 cyclogeni. No, 3 next week in New England. Let's go. Roll the tape, Tim. This is the Euro. And there's the ocean storm on the right, very right-hand side. It's out there doing a retrograde loop-de-doo, part of the same storm that was here 3 days ago. Wind and that precipitation in Maine looks a little blue as it decays and falls apart, so we still have a chance for an inch or two of snow on Mount Washington. And then the high ultimately goes to our south. Those storms in the west with that foot of snow in Mammoth goes up into Canada and begins to weaken. But the pattern's becoming a little more progressive here now as the high moves off. On Sunday, nice day, the wind's from the southwest, and then here comes a front. A low pressure drives into Ontario. The front is limping toward New England, and poof, this is the first cyclogenesis happening over Pennsylvania with bands of rain, too warm for snow, almost positive on this one, coming in with some of us getting a ½ inch to an inch of rain. That low is going to only slowly move to our north, right across New England on Monday night into Tuesday. Now it's starting to turn much colder again. Watch for the blue lines, cold enough for snow. Yet another low is going up through the Great Lakes next Tuesday with yet another cyclogenesis happening across Pennsylvania and into New England, and that one's Tuesday night into early Wednesday. And now it's almost cold enough for snow in there, but certainly plenty of rain, hopefully for you in southeastern New Hampshire, early next week and midweek. And then yet another one. Here comes another low as it starts to warm up in the west. We are now the coldest part in the east, coldest area, and another cyclogenesis, the third one of the week, happening Friday into Saturday. It goes up right over Cape Cod. Now it's just about, you saw the 540 line there, just didn't see any blue. That's just about cold enough for snow. And the highest elevations of even central New England, I'm saying above 2,000, 3,000 feet. So there is a chance. And there it is. That's day 10 now. Is Saturday about 8 a.m. I'm going to stop it at 8 a.m. because you can see the low clearly there on the Maine coast. And this is the 25th of October. And so it's next weekend. And that's the day of the Southern New England Weather Conference, and it's always interesting when that happens. So something interesting is going to happen there. With a 540, you can see it stretched out of central Ontario right down the west side of the Appalachians. So that's a big upper level cold pool aloft. And so there is a chance for some snow in there somewhere. We just can't suss it out exactly at this point. All right, so that's the end of the weather part. Oh no, one more thing. That map, the wave of warmth coming across where it's been cold this week in the Rockies and up into south central Canada. That is an incredible warm wave that would likely come in here toward Halloween, but be quickly replaced with a cold wave, would be my guess, toward Halloween. Guess, yeah, long range weather is guessing. Look at these tremendous white pines and all these little Christmas trees. How fun would it be to walk through here when they were all covered with snow? But we're not there yet. It's foliage season, and yesterday and more, we are going to see a little bit from Mitt and T-Rex as we left Weymouth and headed north to see our good old friend Bob Copeland and Marcia. And I'll give you an analysis on what I thought of the foliage along the way. And then also, Bob showed me around the house. We interviewed Bob outside, and I couldn't get a lot of weather. We were talking more nostalgia, so we're not going to have a full Bob Copeland clip, but we're going to hear quite a few words from Bob and see some of his art. And he talked about the very beginning of winter forecasting, long-range forecasted, and he mentioned somebody he worked with at MIT back in the 50s, Heard C. Willett. And Willett was one of the first people to come up with 5-day forecasts. And he was making attempts at forecasting for the winter and using sunspots, which seems very reasonable to me. If you can use sunspots and then incorporate what we now learn from satellites about ocean temperatures and analog years, winter forecasts are now becoming better. And we still don't know how to do it really well. But nature shows us a lot of signs. So I also met Franz across the street up there as a fantastic sunset was going on. So I might put this in a little out of order. And Bob played a little piano for us. So we're going to let it roll now as we go from Weymouth to Littleton to here in Twin River and Bethlehem. Dinner last night at Reckless Brewery. That place is really fun. All right. This is a long one. Buckle up or take a break and come back and hit play again. And more from yesterday. And more 10 o'clock. T-Rex always excited to go out. Push of the northwest wind has begun. I noticed that Steve undid his anchor, but did not get away. I had him on the chair over there where he likes to watch what goes on. He pulled his anchor out, must have been chasing something. It's not that easy to do. Now what? He wants a little rub. I can tell by the look of it. What is it? Steve. It's just starting to dry out here. We gotta hit the road. Driving into the cold front. And we had one little placid start to the day. We're windy through Saturday morning. Question is, will we see snow on this excursion? Stay tuned. See ya on Friday or Saturday, Steve. I was wondering what you were looking at. Mitt decided to join us outside. I'm sorry, Mitt, but no, you gotta go back in. I know. It's not fair. Everyone else goes out. Well, if you were more consistent, you could have your name on the marquee too. Look at this, they're all outside. And here I am in a hurry to get out of here. How do you take care of so many kids? You gotta have a lot of patience, right? Man, we don't even have humans, we got cats. Oh, they're pumping concrete. Just don't have time to stop and investigate. We're on the road about 90 minutes later than hoped for. Long way to go too. Chasing snow. Do a little foliage monitoring on the way up here. Nice reds right there and some greens as we go past 495 in Andover, Massachusetts. Sort of like last year or at winter when we see how the snow looks as we travel north. This is usually where we see snow on the ground. There's a pretty tree right there. Approaching the Merrimack River. Does that look like a snow sky or what? It certainly does. You know, I think of other things besides snow. Like T-Rex, Steve and Mitt, my family and friends, and weather being weather. Those are snow crystals way up in the sky. Way up. Welcome to New Hampshire. That looks like peak foliage there on the east side of Interstate 93. It looks a little past peak on the west side. So the way foliage works is it's beautiful from the top down and also the bottom up. So this would be the bottom right here. Might be the best color we see the whole ride. Went up the hill in Derry and it was just mostly green. Coming back down the hill in Manchester, nice color. Is this peak? It's getting kind of dark now. Hey, it's Kia. I don't know, K4 or something. Merrimack River again. That's magic. It's everywhere. See it. New cold front going by. Cold air advection down to 59 degrees here in parched Hooksett, New Hampshire at the rest area. When I got off, there was a huge plume of dust blowing across. And on the other side of the highway just now, a few miles back, visibility was about 3/4 of a mile. Well, a couple miles in dust, blowing dust here after a 3-day nor'easter that really didn't get to New Hampshire. Winter is coming. Pemigewasset River, Plymouth State, New Hampshire, where the Pemi is running really low, and that's going to be an issue for making snow. The low rivers, I think the boom feeds off of the Kangamangas River. Is that right? Still some color. Just talked to Greg Keeler. He says at Cannon, that Echo Lake spring fed and 1 million gallons of water per day comes up out of the ground, so they're in good shape for snowmaking at Cannon. And he said the foliage hasn't been very nice, and he said you're about to enter the region of brown and down. I would say that's what he's talking about, brown and down here in White Mountain region. My favorite corner is coming around the corner, being able to see the notch, as in Franconian notch. Cannon Mountain. Yeah, not too many leaves left up here, but I don't care how many leaves are on the trees. This is one of the most beautiful spots on Earth, in New England. Feel the wind in here. 47 degrees. Definitely need to keep 1.5 hands on the wheel. Old Man on the Mountain. Historic site. How many in the audience remember the Old Man on the Mountain? It's right up there. Cannon front 4. Cannon tram is going up there. What's the name of that tram path? They changed the name of it. Mats. Love it. Love the notch. All right. Next stop, Littleton, New Hampshire. Right through there. I see Christmas tree farms. I love Route 302. Spending the night, as you probably already know. Down the hill. Mount Washington through those trees. Ryan's up there. Says it's already starting to ice up. Do you know the way to Cope's house? Hey, how's it going? Yes, it's right up South Watch Hill. Yeah, you can watch to the south on his web camera. You see to the south? The notch that we just went through. Bob Copeland. I've been meaning to get here for probably more than 20 years. Okay, BobCopelandArt.com cam. Can see the trails at Cannon Mountain. I see pretty colors. Haha. The winning tree is the beech tree. Wow, look at the size of those Christmas trees and white pines. And you can almost go skiing right down your front yard. There's a bench. A romantic little scenic vista.
Little hideaway, maybe a little jungle.
What's not to love sitting here? These tiny little birds right in front of us.
Yes, it is.
They know how to like hide where you can't see them. There it goes. Were you just saying a poem about autumn leaves?
Yeah.
How's that go?
The autumn leaves fall by my window. Ba 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 ba. Da, da, da.
Bring on the Tommy Dorsey Orchestra.
This used to be a way to access the path, but it now crosses my neighbor's yard. And when the original path was here, and right through, you can see this portion of it down below.
Oh yeah.
And
You get a little waterfall going on right here. Pump.
little water. The leaves are this time of year. Normally this is a carpet of reds and yellows and oranges. So pretty. But it didn't happen this year. Because of the drought, I suspect.
Well, for a weak year, it just goes to show how wonderful New England is. Because to me, this is quite beautiful.
You got it. I miss my trains. Want to hear my train story?
Definitely. That's your daughter? Wow, that's gorgeous.
When she was
Is that you?
a teenager. That'd be me.
Oh,
It
handsome.
looks like I picked out
Looks like you're ready to go into the ring almost.
my son now, Bob Jr. is about the same age as this.
Oh, neat.
And there's quite a resemblance.
Oh, that's
surprisingly.
cool.
This is Marsha's father,
Wow,
Louis Yanni Alevich.
taking a load off Louis.
Yeah, watching TV. This is from a Bermuda artist who did very few, as far as we know, abstracts. This says a message, but this you may recognize. This is,
I think that's Mount Washington. So that must be like Cranmore.
You're only warm.
Attitash.
No.
Cannon?
Cannon.
Oh, so then this is Lafayette.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
I should have
And
known.
this is I call this vestiges. Vestiges of a house that used to be. Vestiges of the snow as we enter the warmer weather with just a few little snowdrifts and things.
Oh my goodness.
And this is my other daughter, Laurie, who lives on Cape Cod.
All right, Laurie.
Yeah.
And she's swinging and her eyes are closed and
Yeah.
she's
She's a real swinger.
in heaven.
And this is my most recent child, now 42, Matthew.
So Matthew
a little babe.
took a nap and you
I
drew a picture of him.
Yeah. This is, you know Kathy, right?
Kathy, I think I've heard that she did the publishing of Charlie's book.
Yeah, you have never met her.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Hi, Kathy. I do want to meet her because I hear she might be able to help me with some graphic artists.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Backing into a room. This is where I get to sleep. Oh, what an honor. Look at this picture.
There you go.
The glare. Look at this. You haven't aged a bit. None of us have.
Yeah, right.
There's the trio on Cape Cod.
There's the trio, is right.
TK, Chaz, and Cope.
Yeah, how about this?
What an honor. Who's that?
This is a sculpture I made when
Wow.
Matt was born.
Wow.
And
Out of what?
I made it out of wax. And I finally got around to casting it in the past year with the help of my incredible artist friend, Valerie Mahucci.
Wow. That's your son.
And I made copies of it for each of the kids. So Matthew was only a couple of days old, I guess, at that point. And I put the wax away, hoping to convert it at one point. So that's where we finally got around to do it.
And here we are, more art and the view of the Notch. And you just hiked up here a long time ago and said this would be a fine place for a house.
You got it.
You lived in Taunton and Needham and Cape Cod and Littleton. And I thought people that worked in New England wanted to head south and retire in Florida. How did you choose one of the coldest spots in New England?
You were not the first person to ask that question.
My feet are still cold.
Yeah, crazy. I screwed up my jacket. The sun didn't come out too often, but you know, we loved the hiking and the atmosphere and all. And then on some alternate years, we used to go to the Cape, and we might go for a weekend. I was not very old, but I remember Patuxent, which went out in the 1938 hurricane. Pretty much left town. We thought that we could make better use of our resources if we moved one more time, which we did, and here we are.
Wonderful. So equally, I feel the same way. I'm from Cape Cod and I love the mountains, so we're of the similar ilk.
Absolutely.
Except for one of us is a lot more talented than the other. Yes, indeed. Piano and an organ. I can't even keep track of all your hobbies and passions and skills. And you're rooting plants, and you've got fresh tomatoes and a TK shepherd's pie. And these are all from rootings right up to the ceiling, and it's a tile ceiling too. And as for the Mike McCormick webcam, how did you meet Mike McCormick? I mean, I found Mike McCormick because of webcams like yours up here. Oh my goodness. And of course, you grow your own coffee beans. Why would I not have known that? And then hiding underneath the coffee bean tree is the bobcopelandart.com cam, along with fresh herbs and music on
Marsha does the herbs.
2 floors.
like that?
Yeah.
I'm looking over the white cliffs of Dover that I...
Oh, that's that song, I Overlooked Before.
Yeah.
Ah, I got an appointment. Did you ever try and do a winter forecast when you were a meteorologist on television?
You mean
Like a winter forecast in November? Like what's going to happen December, January, February?
Not really.
When did they start doing that?
You know, when I was at MIT, and now we're talking late 50s, last century, one of the instructors there was Herd C. Willett. You ever heard of Herd? Heard of Herd?
I heard of Lorenz, though.
Oh, Lorenz, yeah, he was a great guy. Brilliant. But Willett was the only one that thought there was a future in long-range forecasting. And I kind of went along with him. He used sunspot cycles, and which are reasonably predictable, you know. And he looked for meridional north-south airflow in the polar regions. And my recollection, which may be wrong, was that he found a correlation between these meridional cycles and the weather. And I mean, you can see that, you know, because of the troughs in mid-latitude, you know, analyses is that the storminess is generated in the base of the troughs. Hello?
Hello.
Is that you?
I think so.
Stormy weather. Hi, Marsha. They used to call me Lone Wolf because I would go out on the road and not know where I was going. I was solo. And so I'm on 302 just to the east of Bretton Woods. And this used to be a hotel. When I was a younger man, I stayed here. But now it's lodging for employees of Omni that own, I think, Bretton Woods and the Mount Washington Hotel. On 302, there's some sun illuminating the hills over here. That low sun makes everything look pretty, even those branches that are barren of leaves. Looking over toward the farm. Got some horses grazing at the Mount Washington Hotel, where I just spoke to Ryan Haas. He's up there and he confirms it is snowing at Mount Washington with the winds gusting to 90 miles an hour, and he's got the night shift. All right, I'm not paying $500 or whatever it is to stay there tonight. I'm gonna go back toward Twin. Oh man, going back the other way toward Twin Mountain, Carroll, New Hampshire, Carroll County. Chasing sunset, that river, so bone dry. Profile Deluxe Motel, Deluxe Sunset. See the golden glow behind us. Where am I? One mile in. What's that mean? 1 mile in. Going for it. Seven Dwarf, 1 mile in. What do I have to lose? I haven't slept in a car in a long time. Magical sunset happening all around me. Oh, look at that spooky forest right there. Don't despair, you'll soon be there. I love the fact that I'm going uphill. The road is bumpy, no fault of Grumpy. The sunset drew me here. Somebody on a mower over there. Hey, got any rooms? Seven Dwarfs. Goofy. Motel. it's not open. We'll find out. Just met Hans, and he is a serious handshake. It's a summer resort though, so he says go down to Profile. Jody and Mike, these people, they'll take care of you. All right, I like it. I like it. Over and out. Profile. That's the door I went out, right? Stormy weather. Thank you.
You know that song?
No.
I fall in love too easily. That Cole Porter, I think. Come on. My fingers are so cold.